Howdy, everybody. This is Leo Cloutier with Malice to It None. We're here at Fenway Park today, and it's indeed a pleasure to have as our guest one of the top speed demons in the American League today. I'd like to welcome to our show with the Texas Rangers, Dave Nelson. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you very much, Leo. I'm glad to be here.
Dave, it was either 2 or 3 years ago that you first came up with this ball club, then known, of course, as the Washington Senators. You've made rapid strides since then.
Well, that's right. You know, of course, the franchise moved to Texas, and as with the Senators, I wasn't playing much, and up until a recent wrist injury, I was playing every day for the Rangers.
They've missed you.
Well, I miss being in there, believe me, because as you know, I'm leading the league in stolen bases, and Camp and Harris is only 2 behind me, and there's no way you could steal when you're sitting on the bench.
You know, I was just going to say that, if I may, that you're one of the best thieves in the American League. You're the best thief in the American League right now.
As of now, I am, and I hope it continues that way.
And Dave, this is nothing new for you. You led the California League, you led the Eastern League, and you led the American Association.
Well, yeah, that's right. I've been fortunate, and I think I've always had good speed, but I owe a lot to my first manager in the big leagues, Alvin Dark, because he really stressed good base running and learning how to get a jump and steal bases.
Thank you. Davey, I've had the pleasure of interviewing a couple of other base stealers of considerable prominence. One by the name of Maury Wills, who was credited with 104 for 1 year, and the other fellow is Lou Brock of the St. Louis Cardinals, who is consistently up there. What does it require to become a top base stealer like those two and yourself?
Well, I think, first of all, speed is definitely an advantage in stealing bases, but I think the most important thing is the know-how and knowing how to get a jump, knowing the pitcher, studying the pitcher. I think this is so important to know a pitcher's move, because with that, you know when he's going to come to first, and you'll know how to get that good jump. And this is what I do. While I'm not playing, I watch the pitchers from the bench, and I try to pick out some fault or that's going to tip off me that he's going to go home or he's going to go to first base. And if you could do that, then that's half the battle right there.
Dave, you've been successful on 36 stolen base attempts thus far. How many times have you been caught?
9 times.
That's a favorite number on this ball club.
Well, I tell you what, I saw number 9 hit yesterday, and I tell you what, if I can swing the bat like that, I'll be all right.
Dave, that was the most fantastic exhibition of hitting by a 54-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Unbelievable, Leo, and the man hasn't swung a bat in over a year, you know, and they said he had been practicing, but he didn't even practice for this, you know, and he just looked great.
Dave, if I know Ted, and I've known him for I'd hate to say how long, I'll bet you he was in his hotel suite in front of a mirror after 12 o'clock at night and practicing every minute.
Well, you know, that's not too bad, but the guy is just incredible.
Dave, I don't think in the years that I've been covering baseball, and again it goes over quite a span, I don't think I've ever seen a more fierce competitor.
Well, you're speaking of Ted Williams.
Yes.
Yes, the guy, oh, it's just unbelievable, and it shows in his managing, because you could see him, you know, like I say, I'm a big observer, and I watch Ted on the bench, you know, and I watch the pitchers, I watch the game. But Ted is, just a fantastic competitor, and he talks to me about being competitive, you know. And of course, I think, and it rubs off on the ball players. And I think baseball will lose something if this man ever quits the game. As far as a manager, he should be around the game.
Baseball needs him a great deal, no doubt.
That's correct.
Davey, like yourself, you're so valuable to a ball club. If you get a base on balls, or you get on an error, or you single, each time practically means a double for you.
You know, it's more or less that's true, because, you know, and it's so important. I know several times this year I've led off, you know, the game with a base hit, and then all of a sudden I steal second, and then the next hitter gets me over to third, and the next guy fly ball or base hit, and we're up 1-0, and it's a tremendous advantage. It puts the pressure on the other team, and I think I enjoy playing that type of role. I love to steal, you know, and I love to get on base, which I haven't been doing lately, but it applies so much pressure to the opposition. And then the pitchers, I know that the second, when I'm leading off and I'm on base, the number 2 hitter gets so many fastballs, and 85% of the hitters in this league are fastball hitters, and they love to see that good fastball coming.
Dave, have you stolen home in those 36 bases?
No, I haven't. I haven't even attempted this year. But I think I've stole third, you know, about 6 or 7 times. But there still may come an occasion I'd like to steal home. They don't emphasize it too much around here, you know, with the Rangers. But I know I did it once when I was with the Indians, and I would like to do it, but, you know, sometimes you just can't trust that hitter up there.
You mentioned you stole home once when you were with the Indians. What reservation was this? Cleveland.
Cleveland Indians, right? That's all right, Leo.
Davey, to be a base stealer and to play such a prominent role in the success of a ball club as you do, you're in the game every second of the game, aren't you?
That's right. You have to be, and I think that's important. You know, even if you're you know, just to show you a point, like even like myself, like I say, I watch the game from the bench. Now, even if I'm not playing, I know I have a chance to come in and help tie the ball game or win the ball game if I go in as a pinch runner, you know. And so if I'm just sitting on the bench and not, you know, worrying about a pitcher or anything, not worrying about his move, then, you know, I might get in there and I don't know what his move is like, and I may end up not getting the jump that I normally would get, or I might get picked off. So, you know, if it's a good thing for young kids, man, to always be attentive. You can always learn something on the bench.
There's no doubt about that. Davey, you've been with this ball club now, is it 2 or 3 years?
3 years.
And all under the managership of Ted Williams?
That's correct.
And the manner in which you've spoken about the big man, I presume you've enjoyed every moment of it?
That's right. I have no complaints at all. I think the man has helped me tremendously with my hitting, although it doesn't show right now. But I think I was, you know, hitting well the first half of the season, and of course I got injured. But the guy knows so much. There's nothing he doesn't know about hitting, and I give my credit to Ted Williams because the guy's just a fantastic individual.
You know, Dave, you just mentioned that the results may not have shown right away. That is, your tutelage under Ted Williams as far as hitting is concerned reminds me of a carpenter working on a project of mine recently, and I said to him, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and his answer was, I didn't work on that job.
All right. Yeah, I tell you what, you ought to be a comedian. That'd be all right.
You know, I may have to change rackets soon. Dave, this ball club is a comparatively young ball club.
Oh, extremely young. We have so many. Like I'm one of the oldest guys on the ball club, being 27 years old, and I'm one of the grandfathers around here. But we have some guys: Jim Mason, Toby Hare. Toby's 23. Jim Mason's 21. Vic Harris, 21. Bill Gogolewski's, I think, 23 or 24. Bill Fahey's 22. Oh, geez, so many young guys. Steve Lawson, 21. Just so many young ball players, and they're good. And I think in time we're going to have a real good ball club. I just hope I'm around to enjoy it. But I think as time progresses with a little more playing time, a lot of the ball players, of course, you know, Toby Hare was our selection for the All-Star team. Of course, he came up with a shoulder injury and couldn't participate. And I think it was a great thrill for him. And it just shows you he's only 23 years old and made the All-Star team. And I think we're going to have a few more guys that are going to be nominated in the years to come because this is some of the best young talent I've seen assembled in an organization. And
if that manager can stay with it, maybe he can impart a great deal of that knowledge on his players, don't you think?
I'm sure he could.
Dave, what is probably the greatest thrill you've derived out of baseball so far?
Well, you know,
outside of that stolen base of home plate.
Well, I'll have to go. Probably you know, it's going to sound funny. Probably the greatest thrill that I've had in baseball was last year, the last day of the season in Washington, when I saw Frank Howard hit the last home run that was ever hit in Washington Stadium, in R.F. Kennedy Stadium, and the crowd stood up and gave him like a 10-minute standing ovation. I almost cried, and to me this was baseball, and this was paying tribute to a man who they idolize and they've grown to love, and to me this was more to me than anything that I could have done in baseball, and this was my greatest thrill in baseball.
And Ted, I mean, Dave, you mentioned again that you almost cried. You know, last night when or rather the other night when Ted Williams got a tremendous ovation before he got up to bat, and then he got up to the plate and he told Lee Stang, don't give me any slow stuff, whiz that ball by. That brought back memories.
Oh, it certainly did. I know they love Ted here, and I knew they were going to give him a standing ovation, and deservedly so, because the guy's record is just uncomparable. I just happened to see Ted play only one time during his career, and that was, I think, his last year. And I'm just sorry I didn't get a chance to see him play earlier. I've seen films of his all-star feats and things like that, and I'm convinced he's probably the greatest hitter that ever lived.
Yeah, you know, the only competition he might have had is from two guys, and that's Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb.
That's correct.
And when you speak of those two fellas, you've about covered it all.
That's right. You're talking about immortals, and of course Ted goes right along with them.
You're so right. Davey, this started off as a 3-minute interview, but it's lasted 15 minutes, and I want to take this occasion to thank you tremendously for giving me 5 days of work.
Well, Leo, it's definitely a pleasure, and it's always good seeing you.
Thank you, Dave. This was an interview with Dave Nelson, star infielder of the Texas Rangers, managed by the incomparable Teddy Williams. And this brings us to the end of With Malice Toward None from Fenway Park until tomorrow at the same time. With Malice Toward None, Leo Cloutier. Good day.
Hey, Jim.
Brought to you by Poster Fix. At Poster Fix, we bring your vintage posters back to life. To learn more about Leo Cloutier's sports world, visit leocloutier.com.